Hello! Maeve and I here are going to explain the details of the communication portfolio. Now, we have talked about this in class, and we will talk again about it in class, and you will have plenty of time to ask questions. But this is a video that you can watch repeatedly to hear me explain it, and I'm going to use my assistant here to help explain it. And that way, if you've got questions while reading the assignment sheet, good burp, you can watch this video. So this will be most helpful if you have the assignment sheet like pulled up, or if you have it printed out that you're following along, because it will help you conceptualize what I'm explaining. Okay, so teachers love big projects, and we love this because it can encompass learning through the whole semester, right? Now, some teachers will have you do a big project and then just turn it in at the end. I do not do that because I, as a person who just finished her PhD, I'm still not good at that. I need people scaffolding for me. So, yeah, that makes no sense to me. Now, no offense to teachers who do that. I just don't think you get the best work out of students, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on them to try to spread out the work themselves. And are you good at that? Because I'm not good at that. You're not good at that either, are you? Maybe you are, but I think many of you are not. So I'm here to help you do that. So this is a big semester project, and unlike a higher level class, this is pretty simplistic. It's a 100 level class, so it's the project, the basic goals are to help understand the material, help improve your writing, your critical thinking skills, your use of sources, your argumentation, etc. So we're going to use the baby to help conceptualize this because I think it's going to make more sense. So picture the baby, right, the full baby, as the full project. Now, if I just said, write this full project, turn it in at the end, this is a lot, right? This is a lot to put together and do. And my guess is if if this is the project I wanted you to do, you might end up more like with a doll that you frantically threw together the night before, that you didn't take time to craft and edit and think through, but you had all semester. And again, no tea, no shade if you are capable of doing that, but I've just found I personally have a difficult time doing that, and I find that most of my students don't do it either. So now, instead of the full project, we're going to think of the project in 5 parts. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 specific parts. So your specific communication portfolio is made up of 5 parts. And I'm having you turn the first 3 in, right? Ahead of time. I'm going to give you feedback. And then you'll do the last 2 and then put the whole project together and turn it in at the end. So the first piece, we're going to pretend this is the first piece. Hi. Hi. No smiles, huh? Not a one smile. So the first piece, right, is the only piece that I pick the topic for you, okay? And that's identity. And the reason that I pick identity for you is 1, I think it's important. 2, we've already done a speech on it and talked about it in class and spent a couple weeks on it. So it's basically going to write itself. And I think this is a good starting point. You don't have to, choose a topic. You don't have to come up with one. So everybody in their portfolio, their first topic, now you can move the order later, but the first one you're going to write and do is identity. Okay? And that is going to be due whenever whenever the syllabus says, or when we talk about it. Sometimes I push the date back. Okay? So, look on your assignment sheet, right? And that's going to show you the breakdown for how to do each part. So there's 3 basic components. You want to define the concept, contextualize the concept in culture, in our culture, in our world, and apply the concept to ourselves. So that first topic is identity, right? You're going to define identity, contextualize it in culture, apply it to yourself. Now, you've already done this in many ways, right? You can pull from your speech, you can pull from your reflection, you can, pull from your notes, and you'll want to edit it and format it, but and maybe change some wording around and craft it differently to fit this sort of format, right? But does it make sense how when you're writing this piece one, this section, it's just those three basic, steps or parts. So each part of the big project, right? Remember, 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has 3 things inside of it where you define the concept, contextualize the concept in culture, apply the concept to yourself. There are lots of different ways you can do this. Now, you will probably use the book at some point. I also highly recommend using outside sources, right? So however you do that, whether that's you find some sources to help you contextualize, you're using pop culture references when you're applying it to yourself, however that might be, right? So now, once you turn that first part in, I'm going to give you feedback, right? And then you're going to be able to edit and change that first part before you turn in the full project. And I'm going to get that feedback to you before you turn in the second and third part, right? Now, the second and the third part of the project, you get to choose the topics, okay? And often people will ask, Mizzo, how do I know what topic to choose? Well, go to your book. In the table of contents, any of the chapters could be topics. And even many of the subparts in the chapter, right? So the subheadings or the specific concepts in there, like for example, instead of just doing, you could do verbal, communication. You could also just do the vocalics, right? So there are pieces, however you want to conceptualize it. Some people pick 5 random topics they're interested in. Some people theme them together based on like their career or what they're interested in. Many of you come from other fields. You could make choices based on what you think will benefit you. Good burp. So if you look on your syllabus, you'll see that the second and the third part are due in a few weeks. Then I give you feedback on those. Okay, now you have 3 parts you've had feedback on, and you're going to write parts 4 and 5, right? And put the whole thing together. Now, imagine sometimes people don't put everything together, and basically what they're handing me is like rando baby parts, right? An arm here, a leg here. When you put everything together, good drool, man. When you put everything together, that's the formatting and the editing and the intro and the conclusion and the transitions, right? Like you're developing a portfolio, but I'm helping you do it by having you turn in pieces as you go and giving you feedback. You can do this in so many ways. There is so much freedom. I've had people use PowerPoint. That's not my preferred method, but some people have made it work, right? I've had people use photos. I've had people use pictures. I've had people do it more like a journal. I've had people do it more formal, like a workbook. I've had, right, like some people get really creative with telling stories and how they apply it to themselves. Some people do a theme throughout, right? Where they walk you through the topics and link them together that way. Some people have just 5 rando topics that they link using communication and using the class. There's so much freedom. And I like giving you so much freedom because I actually want this to be something enjoyable and useful. I think it's silly to assign a project that isn't going to benefit you. So even if communication is not your field, and even if, this project feels overwhelming, first of all, communication is going to enhance any field. And secondly, we're breaking it down for you and giving you feedback as you go to help you build this quality project by the end of the semester. Now you do parts 4 and 5 on your own, but you've already gotten feedback from the other parts, so you'll be able to like have an idea kind of, how much is enough, how to flesh stuff out. People often ask me how long these parts should be. I think you want at least a really well fleshed out paragraph for each of those 3 aspects, right? Or each of those 3 pieces. And usually it's more than that, right? Like usually you want at least 2 paragraphs, like nice fleshed out paragraphs that rock you through those 3 basic things for each part, right? So can you picture how you've got part 1, which I've chosen for you, identity. And then inside that part is you define the concept, contextualize it in culture, apply it to yourself. Then you've got another topic. And whatever this could be nonverbal, this could be relationships, this could be listening, whatever this is, right? You're going to do the 3 things again. You're going to define the concept, you're going to contextualize it in culture, and then you're going to apply it to yourself, okay? You're going to do the same thing 5 times. And then you're going to put the 5 parts together, and that's what you're turning in at the end. And remember, when you're turning that in the end, hopefully you've gone back through and made the edits to the first 3 parts that I've suggested and read that feedback and used it to craft 4 and 5 even stronger. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. And hopefully you're following the metaphor of creating a big project or turning in a baby, right? It's your baby project. That's kind of silly, but I was excited to use the baby as an example. And if you have questions, you're welcome to email me or ask them in class because there probably other people have questions too. I hope this helps. Again, go back and read your assignment sheet. Each part is worth 50 points, right? So that's 250 points. And then you get 50 points for putting everything together, right? Now the cool part about this is I don't grade it till the end. So let's say you turn the first part in and you totally miss the mark, right? You get like a grade you do not like. That's just me saying, if you were to turn this in the final, this is what the grade would be. You don't actually get that grade yet, so you can re-edit it then and return it in. So this is a great opportunity to, refine your writing, refine your work, think through these concepts, and apply them to yourself. Yay! Can you say bye? Have a beautiful day.